No, cut it out. I've got 8 minutes to lose. Well, let's see what happens next.
But he took his work extremely seriously. I do remember a sketch he gave me to do, because having started on the show, I think I had one line. Then I think I had one line of a song, and I actually had to sort of work my way up, as of course he would have done in the 50s in these big shows. You'd have one line, and then by the end of the season, if you were good, you'd have a solo. And that's exactly how it worked. So it was like a rep company. And if you weren't very good, you weren't asked back. And it was as simple as that.
He was definitely a perfectionist. If something wasn't right, he would definitely make it clear that he wanted it fixed, whatever it happened to be, and he'd go very quiet. So we all knew when he wasn't happy, because he'd go into himself. He wouldn't do a big, yelling and screaming. He'd actually go into himself and he'd sort of chew his nails, and you could see, and everyone would go, oh dear, Benny's not happy, because he planned everything. It was his shows.
But if anyone came into the studio he didn't know, he would have to stop. And as you know, the Studio One was a very, very big studio, and sometimes the accountants come from downstairs at Thames, or someone would wander in, and he couldn't do it. He would actually have to stop and apologise and say, I'm terribly sorry, little heart. I don't know who you are, but would you mind leaving, because I really cannot do this if you're sitting there watching me. And it's bizarre, isn't it, to think of a man with so much success worldwide that just simply couldn't perform if there was someone he didn't know.
Welcome to Thames. Oh!
He used to really, his hands used to be absolutely soaking wet, and he used to perspire, and he was very nervous. I mean, he didn't particularly like, in later years, doing live performances. That's why he used to get loads of offers, of course, to go and do theatre and cabaret, and people offered him thousands to do one-night stands in the hotels and things, and he just said no. He wasn't interested. He was very good with the audience, and he'd come on and do, in the studio, he'd come on and do his soliloquies and the opening and everything, and that was all live in front of an audience and recorded live. But he was very nervous about doing it. Very, very nervous. And he used to go to his dressing room before the show, and nobody really visited him. And after the show, he'd quietly leave. He wouldn't come out at that point, oh, let's have a drink, and he wanted to wind down on his own very quietly.
Cut, just in case. Lovely. Lovely. 90.